Every single organization pours immense resources into sourcing candidates, reviewing their resumes, and conducting endless rounds of interviews. When an empty seat is slowing down operations, there is intense pressure to fill the role immediately to keep momentum going. But moving too fast introduces a massive risk. Many companies assume that if a new hire doesn't work out, the damage is capped at a few months of wasted salary. To calculate the actual financial and reputational cost of a bad hire, we need to map out what happens after the offer letter is signed. We have to weigh whether the friction of strict background verification is actually worth the delay in the hiring pipeline. Optimizing solely for speed instead of certainty quickly turns a standard operational investment into a massive compounding business loss. The true cost structure of a wrong hiring decision operates exactly like an iceberg. In this iceberg chart, the tip above the waterline represents unearned employee compensation, but below the surface, massive financial losses form, including training costs, productivity loss, turnover, and compliance liabilities. Watch how the sheer volume of these subsurface blocks mathematically dwarfs that initial salary figure. The lost wages are statistically insignificant compared to the compounding hidden costs that drag the entire organization down. The first major hidden cost triggers the moment training begins. Let's look at the productivity drain caused by resume inaccuracies. Your senior employees have to dedicate weeks or even months of their valuable time helping a candidate who lacks the experience they claimed on paper. The new hire underperforms, projects slow down, and critical deadlines get missed. This comparison matrix maps out the true fiscal trade-off. The company loses the cost of the new hire, that also sacrifices the quantifiable billable hours and strategic output of their most experienced staff. That productivity drain quickly leads to the second major hidden cost, retention contagion. Row 2 shows what happens when high-performing team members are forced to consistently cover the workload of an underqualified colleague. Frustration begins to grow. You see a measurable drop in engagement and motivation that spreads across entire departments. Eventually, your best talent decides to leave for a more functional environment. This multiplies the financial damage, forcing you to simultaneously recruit replacements for your most critical roles. A single bad hire does not fail in a vacuum. It functions as a punitive tax on the efficiency and retention of your absolute best performers. Then comes the third, and most dangerous hidden cost, the liability and reputation threat. This occurs when companies bypass thorough behavioral, fraud, and integrity history checks just to speed up the onboarding timeline. Returning to our matrix, row 3 outlines the outcome, exposing the company to internal misconduct, compliance failures, or public legal issues. Saving a few days in the hiring process risks destroying years of built-up brand equity. Customer confidence decreases, and business opportunities begin to disappear. Mitigating these specific matrix risks requires a targeted operational solution, a standardized baseline verification checklist. A proper verification baseline consists of 5 specific components: identity and address, employment references, educational credentials, criminal and behavioral background, and industry compliance. Implementing this checklist does add moderate upfront cost and slightly extends the time it takes to fill the role. However, that upfront friction acts as a filter. It drastically reduces the cumulative fiscal impact by blocking toxic behavioral and competency variables before they ever enter the company ecosystem. The level of verification required isn't identical for every company. It must scale depending on the specific risk profile of the business and the role itself. This quadrant chart maps a role's impact against screening strictness. For founders, strict checks are mandatory. Small teams can't absorb a bad hire. HR managers accept a longer time to fill for higher quality of hire. Finally, the C-suite must mandate comprehensive compliance to shield brand reputation. Identifying your specific operational profile dictates the exact level of verification insurance you need to purchase to remain secure. When you factor in recruitment, training, cultural damage, and reputation risks, the true cost of a bad hire routinely dwarfs their base compensation. Optimizing the hiring pipeline purely for speed is a false economy. It invariably costs more capital in the long run. Handling complex background screening effectively requires partnering with trusted, comprehensive verification experts like Cluso Infolink. The guiding principle here is simple. Verify before you trust. Smart hiring isn't about moving fast. It is about moving with certainty to protect corporate culture, mitigate legal risk, and build resilient teams.